we got Officer Douglas now in here. So he just became the football commissioner for Miami Powell.
What's happening, brother?
Hey, what's going on, officer?
Chilling, man. Proud of you, bro. Congratulations on everything you've been accomplishing, man. Okay, I know you've been a long road, huh?
Yeah. Long road. A lot of work.
So we had basically we're gonna basically just want to kind of tell briefly story about you growing up, how it was. We got a lot of kids in our program that came from nothing, don't have their parents or lost a dad, or some of them just struggling in life just in general. They had their parents, but it's still a struggle. They could just a little bit about you, how you grew up, where you from.
Okay, so basically, I was born in South Carolina.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I moved to Miami though when I was 3. So my daddy was like in the military. My mama, she had, she was a teen mom. She was pregnant at 16 with my older sister, and my dad had to find a way to make money. He joined the military, and he was moving from base to base like that, growing up for me. So, but when I was 3, I moved back to Miami. Pretty much, I have four sisters and 2 brothers and me, so it's 7 of us. I'm the middle child. Growing up, I mean, it was like any kid that that grew up in the hood, basically. Sometimes we didn't eat, sometimes we ate. Didn't think much of it. We didn't find it being a problem. It was just normal because that was what everybody went through in our neighborhood. Older brother went on to college. My sisters, they graduated high school. Everybody graduated high school. I'm the only college graduate though. And yeah, that's pretty much my story.
How was that feeling, like graduating, walking across that stage, like, being the first in your family?
I mean, it's amazing. You wanna change the dynamic of how your family look at things, and that's school. We pretty athletic, but the school part, I don't think a lot of my siblings took serious. So I have a younger brother who's he's gonna be a senior this year in high school, and he's committed to the University of Miami right now. And I'm just showing him how to walk the path that I walk, so he could be able to do the things that I was able to accomplish. And even I have nephews and nieces growing up, and they're watching me as well. They want to work out on weekends, and they just want to be around me. And I think it's just the fact that I did everything right and that I'm someone like a good role model that they can look up to.
Okay.
That makes me feel good.
Oh, man, that's awesome. Yeah, I remember you telling me about your young brother, man. You were like, yeah, he going to be better than me. And I was like, dang.
Yep.
Nah, that's what's up.
You got to just keep working. He a big kid, but, everybody, they praise him a lot. And, I think that get to his head. So I just keep him humble and try to keep him grounded. Because, I told him, you big, but it's going to be a lot of kids big just like you. And if they outworking you, there's nothing you're going to be able to do. So, that's why we wake up every day at 7. We work out at 8. We have like a 2-hour workout. I come back. I do my meetings with the Bills on Zoom. I just got off from doing that. And then, we probably hit the field later on, like do feet work, catch the ball, whatever you can do, like just to detail our work. The more reps you get, the better you'll be. So, that's my thing. I try to get as many reps in as possible in a day. And then I try to wake up early, do it again.
Oh, man, that's awesome. Doug,
Yeah, man, yeah. Like I said, proud of you, bro. Congratulations on all the accomplishments. It's not easy coming from where you come from, so that's a blessing. I guess I got a younger brother too who in high school. Matter of fact, he's a senior. He played linebacker, so I was hoping he was in here, but I don't see him in here yet. Maybe he'll come in a few. He might have some questions. I know you started at running back first, didn't you, when you was at Killian?
Yeah, running back, receiver.
How was that change? What made you decide, hey, I'm gonna go to the defensive side of the ball?
Pretty much, I was playing running back, just because I wanted to be on the field to help the team. Like I felt like whenever I was out there, something good was gonna happen. That was just my mindset as being a competitor. But I wanted to play running back just because, you know, I looked up to watching, you know, Marshall Faulk run the ball.
Right.
Watching Ricky Williams. That was my dad's favorite running back. So, you know, I used to be in the front yard just finishing my runs and then running the extra 50 yards. So, I mean, just playing running back in high school, that was just something that I did. But I always knew I would switch over to the defensive side. You know, I figured I made like a business decision because I knew it was a lot of running backs, but teams need DBs. Nobody don't like the cover. Nobody don't like the tackle. So I was saying I could make my mark on that side of the ball, and it, you know, ended up pretty well for me.
And I think being a defensive back, because I played DB, I think it just speaks amounts about you because I think that's like a selfless position, bro. You don't get that much credit, but the work you got to put in is drastic for that position because you could get embarrassed out there, especially out there on your island by yourself, and you don't get praised too much. So, like, just playing that position, I got to give you much respect. Much respect out there.
Appreciate that. Yep.
What would you say was like the jump, or what was the jump between high school to college, and then the jump from college to the pros? Like, what was those two jumps like for you?
I mean, the major difference for me, it always been how much time I have. So, you know, in high school, you pretty much had your own time once you got done with practice and everything. And I always wanted to, like, so when I got done with practice in high school, I was just one of them guys who, like, didn't feel like I got enough. So I went to go lift. I went to go run. And that was my major thing. I used to always love to work out. That was my free time. Any free time I was going to work out. In college, it changed because it's like we had classes, but we worked out all morning. Then we had classes all afternoon. And I was like, well, I don't have any extra time to work out. And I got into it with like my trainers and my swim coaches because they're telling me I'm overworking. But this all I knew. This was how I got here because I was working out so much. I was able to get noticed by y'all. And now y'all trying to tell me not to work out. Oh, wow. So that was like my main thing was like trying to like manage, like not to overwork, not to kill myself when we get days off, take the days off and really just listen to the coaches. You know, don't butt heads with them because I thought my way, just work was right. And, you know, I expressed that all the time. And then another big difference from college to high school, I mean, the classwork, the material, you know, you're going to be on your own. Sometimes, you know, in high school, you get a lot of busy work. In college, you might get one paper assignment and then you get like 2 tests. And if you flunk out on that, you might fail a class or something. So, I mean, that was one of the scariest parts about college. Like if you fail the exam or something, like, you know, like you on the back end of it now. So, I mean, but thankfully that didn't happen to me. I was able to, you know, graduate with a 3.0, but wow, it was tough. So that was the major part from high school to college. And now, I mean, my whole life changed. Now I have like a little daughter. She's 10 months.
Oh man, congratulations!
Congratulations, man.
Appreciate that. So I have a little daughter. She's 10 months, and now I'm in the NFL. So it's like college. It definitely showed you how to manage your time well. So I mean, I manage my time like in the mornings. Like I said, I do my workouts. Then in the afternoon, I come home. I do my my meetings on Zoom with the Bills. And then after that, if I wasn't talking to y'all, I'd be probably playing with my daughter. But they actually left. So I mean, it's the time where I just mess with her. I let my wife. I just recently got married too. So I let my wife do whatever she want to do, and I take care of the baby because she be with her all morning. And you know, I'm just making sacrifices like that. You know, I don't really go out. I don't go hang out with friends like that no more. But I never really did. My family just always came over here and we'd eat and cook and play the game. So, I mean, that's been my biggest transition with managing time now. For the field, I mean, everybody's detailed in their work in the NFL. Like the main thing you hear is 111. That just basically mean do your job, and they really rely on you to do that. And I mean, if you can't get the job done, they'll cut you, and they're not afraid to tell you it. Like they're gonna tell you, like, hey, you gonna get cut. And I mean, what you gonna do when they tell you that? It's all based on how you was raised and if you can take criticism or not. Because if you go into a tank, they're not gonna try to lift you out of it. You gotta be able to man up on your own. It's grown men out there, and you gotta just work. And even if something do happen where you do get cut, because I have some friends who got cut, you know, they were still able to end up in a better position with just keeping their mind strong and going on to the next team, making it practice squad of the 53 men. So that's pretty much like, I mean, like when you get to that next level, if you're not a high draft pick, like I was a sixth rounder. I mean, basically I was written off if I didn't go and perform in preseason and then practice. But I performed and I was able to make the 53-man roster. And, you know, everything just falling in place like that for me right now.
You had it.
Yeah, because one thing, I had a cousin, I think he played with you too, because I told him I was proud of him because he actually kept finding Juwan Young.
Okay,
He played over there, and then, you know, he had his issues,
back.
so he had to end up going over there to Marshall. So,
you talking about the linebacker, 51, yeah. Juwan, yeah, I know you're talking about.
Yeah, so he had his issues. He had to end up going over there to Marshall, and he still fought through, made it to the league and everything. So, like, I know the struggles that you're referring to and how difficult it is. One mistake can change your whole college career. And just to stay focused like you did, man, that's just an example. I hope these young guys on here listening and paying attention to you. A question I had, though, was because you was big when your junior year, everybody was talking about you. What made you say, I'm going to come back for my senior year?
My junior year, my junior year was one of my best year at UM. You know, I could have came out and probably ended up going higher than the 6th round. But I mean, I don't regret it at all. I'm the type, you know, if I'm like a team person. I wanted to win a national championship at the University of Miami. I know that hold a lot of weight. And, you know, I just felt like it was unfinished business. You know, we lost. Hold on just a moment. I'm sorry.
You say you're
I'm on the thing right now, y'all. Hold on. But yeah, I was I came back. My ultimate reason for coming back is because I wanted to win a national championship. And I talked to Ed Reed and I asked him why he came back. And he told me the same thing that I was feeling when he was in school. And I was like, well, you know, I'm going to come back. And I know I was in a different position. I know he was going first round each one, but I mean, I wasn't even thinking about that. I knew if I did what I had to do, I eventually make my dream come true, which is to make it to the NFL. So I wasn't concerned about like the fast money or the quick money. And then, you know, I had a semester left to get my degree. So that was just like icing on the cake.
Gotcha. Awesome. Just a couple. I know your daughter. I heard her. I think that was your daughter.
Yeah, they're my nephew. They just came.
Oh, okay. One question I always ask, because these kids think that it's so easy once you get to college. What's your schedule like as a college athlete? Like, you know, from the time you waking up till, you know, the end of the day.
Right. I mean, okay, I'm going to go off UM. I know some people different, but for UM, we used to get up in the morning. So we wake up in the morning, we check in to the dining hall for breakfast. That's 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. After you check in, you got to go to the facility. Once you get to the facility, you have meetings. So you go to meetings right away, 8, 9 o'clock. You in meetings all the way up like to 10 o'clock or something like that. You gotta get taped, get dressed, get on the field. You have like a 2-hour practice. After that 2-hour practice, if you got a 12:30 class, you gotta hurry up, hustle in, get dressed, take a shower, get dressed, go to class, and then it just depends on whatever schedule you have. So if you have 4 classes that day, you gotta go to all 4 classes after practice. I mean, you're gonna be tired, you're gonna be drained. You might find yourself nodding off in class, you're gonna have to fight through that and stay awake. And you got to do it all again the next day. And that's how it's gonna be for 3 to 4 years. But you know, your body eventually get used to it. So.
Okay, cool.
One thing I was gonna say also, I know you got your family coming, but I know I got a couple of kids in here, like to the young minority, because we're not all just Black, but we are mostly young minority kids. I know we preach sports, and yes, it is important because it helped me get. I ain't gonna lie, it helped me get to where I am today. Without sports, I wouldn't be the person I am today. But what it would be the biggest information you could give them, reference sports wise and just as a young minority? What information would you give to them? Because yeah, I could say it, but I'm a police officer at the end of the day. That's what they see me as. They don't see me as who I grew up as. So coming from you, maybe they could take it a little better.
So you asking me to tell them what advice do I have to tell them other than sports?
No, both as sport wise and just as a young minority growing up and how to present themselves and carry themselves.
All right. Okay. So just from the sports dynamic, if we all play sports, you understand how you have to approach the game, how you approach practice every day. You know, you competing. You know, you don't want to get embarrassed. You don't want to be left out. And you want to make the team. Let's put it like that. So my approach to everything is, all right, I'm finna outwork him. I'm finna outwork anybody who in front of me. And that's been my like go-to, like in my safe, like, all right, I'm finna go outwork him. That's how I'm gonna beat him. And that was just my mindset, not literally beat him, but just make me better, being the best version of me. So when I look over and take it into, like, you know, into society, okay, I'm going to watch the best people. I'm going to watch the people who I think smart people. I'm going to watch the people who I think educated. I'm going to see how they dress. I'm going to see how they talk. Okay, cool. I see how, okay, man. And I take little notes down just like that. So I was able to represent and present myself well in all circumstances because I watched everybody and I learned. I just listened. I just listened to whoever, like, okay, basically I'm an expert. If you want to say that, I'm an expert because I'm a professional athlete and I have 10,000 hours, 10,000 reps of everything. All right, I go into your field, like you're an officer. I want to learn. I want to be like you. I want to go to the highest, the best worker in there and see what he do, so I can emulate it, to imitate it, and be like you. So that's what I did. I just watched people who was in different fields from me other than sports. Because like you said, we minority. My dad wasn't dressing up in a suit and tie every day. I didn't know how to tie a tie. He didn't know how to tie a tie. I had to learn how to tie a tie. And that was from watching different people. So if you just take that into account, you go out into society, you ask questions, you don't be embarrassed about what you asking, and you always speak up. You know what I'm saying? You always speak up no matter the circumstances, and you'll pan out perfectly fine. We run into problems when we don't want to open our mouth. We run into problems when we don't want to raise our hands. We run into problems when we want to just sit in the back of the classroom. And that's what I did. I didn't do that. I did the opposite of all that.
That's what's up.
That's a lot, man. I think I could just say that and just play that to all the other kids. I'm good. I don't got to talk no more. I think I could just start yelling this year. Where did you play when you were growing up as a kid?
Basically, I played for Richmond my whole life, Richmond Giants.
Okay.
All through 65s and through 160s.
How important was that for you?
Huh?
How important was that for you as you were, like, you know, those people that were around you?
I mean, at Richmond Park, I was home. So, you know, you always wanted to represent your neighborhood. You always wanted to stand out on the field. You had different players coming from different neighborhoods to try to play on your team, but you knew when it was crunch time that they were still going to rely on you. So, I mean, that was everything to me. I was able to get 2 national championships and Pop Warner. That was the only championship I was able to get.
Wow.
Other than wrestling in middle school. So, I mean, that was everything. But it's all in the grand scheme of things. It was worth it. I never left the park. They have pictures of me when you go weigh in now, like kids see me. And, you know, I think it was all worth it. Like,
how important do you say optimism was? Because I know nowadays a lot of people don't understand. Like me, when I grew up, not just physically, but socially, it helped me understand how important it was to have people around you that you could trust and depend on, and how people felt about you. Because, you know, sometimes we don't get that. We fuss at, let's say our parents are tough and they just talk to us and fuss at us, and we don't know how important we are. But sometimes being on that team, it let me know that, hey, these guys relied on me. Like you just said, that I'm important to them. So can you address this, how important youth sports or youth football is important in today's society, you think?
I mean, I think it's very important, because when you look at it, kids really look up to, you know, their coaches, you know, their teammates, some of the best players on the team, more than they do people in their household. And if you could just be a positive voice towards that, knowing that they look up to you, knowing that they watching everything that you do, it'll probably help them pan out better. So I looked up to a couple of my coaches, but mostly one of them was Coach Tony. He was an NFL player. He played for the New England Patriots, but he was a practice squad guy. Like he is a practice squad guy. He worked real hard, and he got a couple chances, you know, to play actually. But that was just another side of it. Like, I didn't, like, just looking at where I'm at now, I was a 6th-round pick, almost not making it, being a free agent like he was, and then having to make the 53-man roster and not being a practice squad guy. But if I didn't see how he worked and how he talked to me when I was playing for the 160s, when I was maybe 13, 14 years old, like we running hills, he telling me that I have to outwork everybody, I wouldn't probably know. I probably wouldn't have that same hunger that I have now. Like watching that Michael Jordan, like he the end of the bench. Like Kobe Bryant said, he the end of the bench, even though he the all-star. So I mean, it's real important to have that role model that's gonna really mold these kids into something that it takes a village to do.
How was that feeling though, hearing your name called on draft night?
Oh man, like I mean, waiting from 1 through 5, and then a couple. I mean, it felt like it was long, but once my name finally got called, it like, you know, I thought I went 1st round. You know, like with family, everybody around you, like they didn't see the number, they didn't see the round. You know, they just saw the work, they saw the passion, they saw the guts, they saw everything that you did your entire life for that one phone call, and it was everything. And even if I didn't get that phone call, you know, I still feel like I was gonna get a phone call. Like I still feel like it was gonna be something beneficial out of me doing my 4 years of college and then me attempting to go to the league. Like, so I mean, like, you know, because I had a friend this recently, Trajan Bandy. He didn't get the phone call, but he was able to get a tryout for a team, and I told him that that's all he needed.
Yeah.
I told him that fire that you had when you didn't get that phone call, you're gonna have to let it out every day, but you're gonna have to do that for years. You can't get satisfied once your name get up there, because they didn't call you, remember? And you not answering nobody calls now. So what you gonna do? And you know, I think it all just pan out for the better if you just strong minded and you go for what you want.
Okay. My last question. So every time they tell a story, there's always someone saying, man, there was other people out there better than me. Like I wasn't the best one in my neighborhood. I wasn't the best one at the park. How did you stay away from the trappings that they got into so that you weren't one of those people that they were talking about where it was, oh man, Jaquan, he was the best one out there, but he just got caught up. You know what I'm saying? Like how did you stay away from that?
Pretty much, I stayed with my passion. You know, football was my passion. Sports was my passion. So that's what I did all the time. You know, like this organization power that y'all do, I was in that when I was in middle school. I was able to play basketball through y'all. You know, I was just able to stay out of my neighborhood. So really, I just stayed busy. Everything I did was revolved around what I wanted to do in life. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to be the best at something, you got to do it all the time. And that's what I did. And my friends, I picked them carefully, even though, you know, if I had friends that I grew up with and they started, you know, smoking, they started, you know, drinking, you know, taking the car, doing things like that was going to get us in trouble. Like, I stayed away from them. And I mean, I'm staying away from them, but I'm one of the toughest in my neighborhood. You know? Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not, you know, I'm not no offense, like a pushover or anything. Like, you get what I'm saying? They respected me for that. I wasn't trying to be down. You know, people wanted to come with me. Like, even now, I have people texting me like, hey, where you working out at? Can I work out with you? Things like that. But, I mean, right now we can't be working out. So, I mean, in my head, I'm like, why are you trying to work out with me? Y'all got the same L that I got, the same street that I got. Y'all could go run it. Y'all could go do that. Mm-hmm. And that was my main thing. Like, I wanted to be the trendsetter. So, even, like, I just stayed away from all negativity. And then, like, how I became, like, oh, who that guy? Like, what happened to him? How I wasn't him? I wanted to outlast them. So even if they would, like, I wasn't the best in my neighborhood. I wasn't the best on my teams, but I knew I was going to outwork them and I was going to outlast them. And outlasting them means being able to go longer, forever long. So even if I got a friend of mine right now in my same drive class, like in my head, I'm like, okay, cool. He went before me. Okay, cool. That safety went before me, but I can outlast him. So we all got the same 1 year. Let's see who's going to get the next one and the next one and the next one and the next one. And that be my mindset. I think that's what they should take to their mindset too. I know they're young kids, but just having that fire and, you know, and never wanting to lose, just being a competitor, even if you lose, but just being like, I should have won. I got to do better. Like, just be tough on yourself. Be your biggest critic and be coachable. That's everything. Just be coachable.
Okay. I'm good. I don't, Doug, I don't know.
Yeah, I asked this last question because this one of my biggest things, because I see it nowadays, because it's hard for me because I didn't grow up like this. But I see a lot of kids nowadays, they have a hard time dealing with, like, failure. If they not the best, if they don't succeed first go around, it's like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. I give up. What advice can you give to them? Not just them as a coach, because I want to bring the best out of them as well. What could possibly help you? I don't know if you had friends that went through it or, you know, people that's going through it now. What advice would you give to assist people with that, right, that's going on now?
That if you say if they like fail, they feel like they don't want to do it no more.
Right, they giving up on themselves easily. A lot of times people just give up on themselves first time, and they don't understand how hard, for you, how hard it is to get to that point. You didn't just wake up an NFL football player, NFL star. It took time. It took hard work. You fell down hundreds of times and got back up. What advice do you give to those who struggle with failure?
My biggest advice to people who struggle with failure is that's tough. That's a tough one because I'm thinking about it like right now, and it's like everything that I felt that, you know, I wanted to keep failing until I got it right. So I mean, with that being said, that was like my mindset. So if I'm gonna fail, okay, cool. All right. I'm gonna be back. That's my mindset. I'm gonna be back. Oh, you got me this time. Okay, I'm gonna be back. And that just gotta come within yourself. You know, that just gotta come within, you know, watching your parents if they struggle. You know, that got to come within like your role model. If you want to make him proud, if you want to make them proud, that just got to come from within. That even if you fail, you should never give up. You should always try again and again. And I mean, I know it's easier said than done. Easier said than done because, you know, sometimes it could be kicking your butt. But you got to keep on trying. I mean, like one of the things that I hate doing is running. You know, I don't like going on the track, running 400s, trying to get my lungs strong, trying to get my legs stronger. So what I've been doing, I've been running. I've been running 400s. I've been running any chance I get. And I might be overdoing it. But it's something I don't like to do. It's something I failed at, but it's something I know I could get better at. And that's where the growth come in. Like if I could run all day, I mean, you can be unstoppable if you just do what you don't like to do. If you fail, you just keep trying. It's simple. It was a simple answer for me, but I mean, for some people, it might not be as simple. But if you struggle with failure, if you struggle with giving up on yourself, look at somebody who, you know, not in your situation. You know, it's always somebody that is worse, and they wish they could be able to fail, but they not able to. And if you think of it like that, then you'll try every time and again until you get it.
Wise words. Good. Appreciate it.
Real quick, did any kids in here have a question they wanted to ask real quick before we let Jaquan go?
I think my little brother in here too. Ja, you in here?
I just wanted to see if they wanted to ask a quick question. Because I know okay, if anybody had a question, just let me know real quick before we let Jaquan go. I know he got his family to get to. You can unmute yourself real quick if you want to ask a question. I guess everybody might be good. They real shot, Quan, so I don't know.
For real, you don't got no questions. You the star, for real. What's up?
Yeah, for real, Corey. Or even if Carter, if you had a question you wanted to ask.
Coach Carter here?
Yeah, he in there. I'm not sure. We're going to post it on YouTube because I know a lot of kids still doing their schoolwork. So a lot of them don't finish that. They just finishing now.
We got a question from Ja. That's my little brother.
Yeah, okay. He was saying, what year
in high school
did you get your first offer?
Freshman year, 2011. That was from Temple.
Okay. What was that offer that she was like, oh shoot, okay, it's real now? Like,
my offer that I got when I said, it was Florida. Florida reached out, and I was like, okay. Like, I really didn't know much of. It wasn't talked about college or anything. It wasn't talked about in my house. So when I was playing football, I was just playing. You know, I didn't even think about college and going to college. I was just playing, and then that's when things started to, you know, come to life. Like, oh, okay, college, 4 years. That's how I got it all down. But, you know, that's how it was for me.
And originally, wasn't you committed to Florida State, right?
Yeah, I mean, no. I committed. I went up there to Florida State for a visit. I did the camp, and then, you know, it was cool or whatever. But I didn't commit to him or anything. I think a reporter had put that out, but I never committed. The only team I committed to was UM, and I stayed with it. So.
Okay. What's the biggest advice that you give your brother right now, who's going through the process?
Pretty much my little brother, you know, he got that type of mindset, like that dog mentality that I like about him. But he could be tough to coach. Like, you know, he could be like, sometimes like I try to correct him, I try to tell him stuff. You know, he get an attitude, he get mad, this and that. And then when he get it right, you know, he want to smile with me and, you know, give me high five. And I told him, you see how you did that when you got it right? You got to have that same type of energy when you get it wrong. You understand what I'm saying? It's just going to get you better in the long run. So, I mean, it's really with him, it's just being coachable, you know, making sure he don't have that attitude.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate you taking time out of your day. I know busy between meetings and family and things like that. So I just wanted to say thank you on the behalf of Mommy Pal and our Major Guerra and our Chief Kalina. We really appreciate you taking the time out to speak with our kids. I'm sure the rest of them will be able to hear your message once we post it, but thank you so much, and I appreciate it. I'm going to let our football commissioner end.
Yeah, we appreciate you, Quan, man. Like I said, proud of you, brother. You're really an inspiration to these young guys. I pray for your continued success, man. I know you're going to get it because, like how you said, the hard work you put in. And I'll just pray that some of your message reach out to our younger boys and they could follow in that footstep. Thank you, and we really appreciate you, man.
No doubt. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me, man. All I try to do is, reach back out to the youth no matter what. I have my own foundation, Johnson Opportunity Foundation. It's going to be starting up soon. I'm just helping at-risk youth with sports, after-school care, and things of that nature. It's going to be running probably after this whole pandemic and everything, but I look forward to definitely working with you all.